Hello, and my name is CJ, and I'm here to talk to you everything there is about sliders. And this is the Sliders Review. And today, I'm here to talk to you about Quinn Mallory. Quinn Mallory lasted all the way from the first to the fourth season. He's played by actor Jerry O'Connell. Quinn Mallory is the person who created sliding. Now, Quinn is your average young guy. He's in his early 20s. He goes to college, lives at home with his mom, and he plays around in his basement. He's a very bright-eyed kind of guy. He's always happy and cheerful, but for the most part, his life is kind of dull. He has a dead-end job working at a computer store. He doesn't have a girlfriend. He does have a love interest, but not a girlfriend. And for the most part, he just lives at home with his mom and just tries to invent stuff. Throughout the course of the first season, we start to see that his personality starts to change a little bit. He turns from this goofy, nerdy, lovable guy into kind of a jock. And sliding gives him the ability now to build more self-confidence. He, for the most part, he's not really upset about sliding. He's upset at the fact that he can't get back home. But he's happy in the sense that this is a thing that he created, and now he gets to explore the multiverse and just have a bunch of fun, because his life was pretty boring in the past. And it's also allows him to play hero, because on many of these worlds, they're corrupt. And they don't have that knight in shining armor to come in and help them with their problems, and that's kind of the role that he took. So he's kind of like a slash between Superman and Batman, that way he just wants to go to every parallel Earth and just play superhero. But just like all people who like to have fun and everything, there's also guilt. And he feels sorry for, in a sense, dooming these other three people's lives. Because he invented sliding, he somewhat endangered the lives of three other people that wanted to go along with him. Well, at least two of them wanted to go with him. Another person got just sucked in for the heck of it. And every time they go to a parallel Earth, they're always in danger. And so his friends are always in danger. Also, they have a problem of not being able to get back home. The reason why they can't get back home is because he disobeyed the rules of sliding. In order to slide, you need a timer. And this timer is the thing that activates a portal, and you slide through a wormhole. And then when you're sliding through, you go to a parallel Earth. On this Earth, you only have a certain amount of time in which you can stay. Now, once the thing hits zero, and if you don't slide, you're stuck there for 29 years. However, if you activate the portal before your time is up, it will erase your home coordinates, and then you're sliding at random. And because there are thousands of millions of different Earths in the multiverse, it's going to take them a long time to get back home. So he feels really guilty about this, and one person always reminds him of this, and that's Rembrandt Brown. And he always plays the guilt trip on Quinn because he blames Quinn for what happened. Now, the professor, him and Wade, they go to Quinn's basement in the pilot to try to talk to him because they feel he's acting kind of weird. Which in fact, it was never Quinn that was acting weird because Quinn was on a parallel Earth. At that time, his double was on his Earth just wreaking havoc. While they're in the basement, the professor notices that Quinn has created sliding. And he's very, very excited about this because he loves the fact that his student has created something that no other man has. But it also causes some jealousy with the professor because in both the pilot and a few episodes in the other seasons, we start to see that the professor is actually jealous at the fact that this younger guy, who's his student, was able to do something in which he was not. Wade has a huge crush on Quinn, which Quinn, he kind of has a bit of a crush on her too, but he sees her more as kind of like the sister type. Plus, with sliding to different worlds, he's kind of like Rembrandt, where he just wants to have a good time with a lady. So we constantly see this kind of will they, won't they kind of relationship that those two will have. In the episode Last Days, she's down there trying to give moral support to Quinn because Quinn is extremely frantic about how they're all about to die before it's time for them to slide. And it's actually the first time we actually get to see him and her kiss. In the second season, we start to see him still take on the role, that of the hero, but it's slowly in his progress. He isn't so much looking for trouble, but in areas in which he's in, if he starts to see a woman in need, he can't help himself but to want to help that woman and be kind of like her knight in shining armor. So he's still taking on this Superman, Batman type role, and in Superman, he's fighting for truth and justice, but in the Batman sense, that where he will bloody his hands up in order to seek that justice. We also start to see that his relationship with his friends starting to change. Him and Rembrandt are now pretty much on good speaking terms, and they're starting to really care for each other as friends should. Him and Wade, however, his romantic feelings for her are now dead. He pretty much just now sees her as one of the guys, somebody who he can hang out with and chill, but as far as a relationship, he doesn't want to step on those toes. Him and the Professor, they're still on the same terms as they were in the first season, but now since Quinn's matured and eyes are fully open, it is now discovered to him Professor actually is really jealous of him because he do things in which the Professor sometimes can't. Even though he is taking on this more hero vigilante type style, he still refuses to kill. In the episode The Good, the Bad, and the Wealthy, we see that he gets into a scuffle with a lawyer. Now on that world, San Francisco has combined with Texas, and a lawyer in a sense is a hired gun. And when two lawyers duke it out, they just pretty much have a draw and shoot the other person. Now as Quinn's trying to be hero, he's trying to help a man out that he sees another man pull a gun on him. This man gives him his gun and he challenges Quinn to a duel. Quinn thinks that he shoots the man and kills him, and after that he's grief-stricken. But it turns out that actually he did not kill the man, but actually the woman in this episode ends up shooting him instead. In the episode Invasion, in which the Cro-Mag invade, after Quinn starts to see their flying ship come towards them, he activates the timer, in which the timer acted like a weapon and shot the ship down. This caused the pilot of the ship to break his neck. Now the Cro-Mags are a cross between humans and ape-like people, and Quinn felt extremely terrible by this, even though the thing looked like a monster. By the time we get to the third season, Quinn is now in full superhero mode. Every time he slides onto an Earth, if he sees even a little scuffle, he swings into action. Even if he doesn't know who started the fight or who is the actual bad person, he pretty much just starts attacking the male and trying to rescue the female. Another person in which he tries to rescue is actually himself. In the episode The Guardians, they slide to an Earth that seems to be about 12 years behind. So Quinn actually meets his younger self and tries to help his younger self overcome his problem with the bullies he's having at school. After sliding for a full 2 years, Quinn is now starting to get to the point where he's just tired of everything. He's tired of worrying about everybody else. He wants to just worry about himself. He doesn't care necessarily about the problems in which other worlds are having. He simply has just burnt out. We now start to see that his relationship with the Professor has grown to the point of college professor student to father and son. And this happens more when Quinn finds out that the Professor is dying of a terminal illness. The Professor actually wants to leave the Sliders and go his separate ways, but Quinn begs him to stay because Quinn said he needs him. And the reason why Quinn needs him mostly is because Quinn needs the support, because Quinn is so burnt out from sliding that he feels that he's ready to crash and burn. And he also doesn't want to lose a true dear friend and a person who is pretty much a second father to him after his real dad died. Now with the Professor gone, Quinn has taken on the role of the world savior. The relationship with Rembrandt, however, is starting to break down. Rembrandt is starting to feel as though Quinn is starting to become selfish, and he is starting to put other people before the Sliders. One episode in which we see this happen is Slither. And in Slither, Quinn is desperately trying to help a woman, but he doesn't know this woman is crooked. And Quinn is so devoted in helping this woman because he's in love with her, that way he is willing to leave both Wade and Maggie on that Earth to help this woman slide to a new Earth, then slide back to the Earth in which Wade and Maggie are on. Rembrandt convinces him not to do this because Rembrandt says, you know, there's no telling what might happen when we get to the other world or what might happen to the timer. Another huge argument in which we see that Quinn and Rembrandt have is in the two-part episode, The Exodus. In the second part, after Quinn discovers the coordinates for Earth Prime, the other Sliders later on find out. When both Wade and Rembrandt wants to hurry up and slide early, Quinn tells them, we made a promise to these people on this earth to help them before the earth is destroyed by the pole stars. Rembrandt goes back into whole season 1 mode of blaming Quinn for putting everybody's lives in danger in the first place by creating sliding. So Rembrandt lays on the guilt trip on Quinn big time. And then Wade later on joins in on that guilt trip. But Quinn is very adamant about trying to help these people, but more so he wants to help out Maggie Beckett. And Maggie Beckett is his new love interest. And throughout the third season, we constantly see this bickering both Wade and Rembrandt have towards Quinn, because Quinn isn't so much concerned about thinking about his former teammates, he's pretty much concerned about getting up Maggie's skirt. As we press on into Quinn's fourth and final season, we start to see that Quinn's entire world is turned upside down. In the beginning of the fourth season, in the episode titled Genesis, we find out that in fact Quinn is not from that of Earth Prime as the original Sliders. He is in fact from Chromac Prime, the ape-like creatures we saw in the second season. On Chromac Prime, a civil war was raging out between the Chromacs and the humans. To prevent anything from happening to Quinn, Quinn's parents placed him on a different world. Quinn also discovers in that episode that he in fact has a brother. After Quinn, Maggie, and some resistance fighters save Rembrandt, they slide off-world in hopes to find not only Quinn's brother, but a weapon from Quinn's home world that can defeat the Chromacs. In this season, Quinn has left behind his whole hero persona. He is no longer looking for fights, and he is no longer trying to be the knight in shining armor. Him and Rembrandt's relationship has grown hugely than that of any other season. Now, those two are literally best friends and brothers in a sense. They lean on each other for moral support, and because they're the only original Sliders left, he feels stronger and closer to Rembrandt than he does that of his own brother. Once he finds his brother, he takes on the role of teacher, mentor, and that of the older brother. When Quinn is down and Rembrandt is nowhere to be found, his brother Quinn Mallory is also there for moral support. His relationship with Maggie is somewhat of the relationship he had back with Wade in the first season. It's a will they, won't they kind of thing, where he still cares for her, but not as strongly as he did back in the third season. In one episode, however, entitled Roads Taken, Quinn and Maggie are thrown into a bubble universe in which they live out their entire lives from childhood into adulthood and that of old people. They have a son, and it is the one and only true time that we see Maggie and Quinn together in a relationship. This world is, however, destroyed once Quinn's son attempts to merge his version of Quinn and Maggie back with the original Quinn and Maggie. When we get into the fifth season, Quinn is no longer there. The writers decided to just write him off and merge him with that of his counterpart double from another Earth. However, his double looks nothing like him. Well, there you go, folks. That's the rundown on Quinn Mallory. Stay tuned next time and I'll talk to you about Rembrandt. Talk to you later. Bye.